Hey guys, it is Patrick, your San Antonio based real estate agent, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about dirt versus inventory and what the difference between those two words means when it comes to buying a new construction home or a new build home. Now, if you are in an area where there is explosive growth in population, you're probably seeing that there isn't a lot of homes available. There is a housing crunch, and because of the housing crunch, you're seeing also the home prices or home values rising because there is more demand than there is supplies. When those areas, they are ripe for new construction homes. What that means is that we have these builders and developers coming into the city and really building new communities within the city, as long as your community or your city has enough empty land to be able to start a new community. But you're going to see these builders come and bring new communities to life by building new homes. And that is one of the options you might have when purchasing a new home in your community is new construction. So this word dirt versus inventory means two different things, and it's important to know those things going in as you're taking a look to buying a home. So we're going to talk all about dirt versus inventory in this video. So if you're ready, let's get started by talking about what these two things mean in new construction build. So let's talk about the construction phase when purchasing. When you hear dirt, this is what it really means. Dirt means that the home process or the home building process hasn't started yet. What really that means is they might have flattened the land just like this photo shows. They flattened the land and everything, and they're ready to excavate and build or pour a foundation and build a home on this land. Well, the process really hasn't started from a home building process. They've just prepared the land. So that's what we mean by dirt. The home process really hasn't started yet. Now, we're also going to hear this word called inventory. And inventory really just means that the home building is in process, but it doesn't have a buyer, meaning that the home builder is building the home without a buyer in mind so that they can have this home as inventory to sell to anybody who comes through their doors and wants to purchase a home, but doesn't want to wait for a home to be built from dirt. We also call these spec homes. So they are built to a specification that the builder has already laid out. So we've got inventory or spec homes, and we've got dirt homes, meaning that there is no home on that dirt, and you as a buyer may be able to design your own home to a very choreographed way. You can't just build any home. They're going to give you basically options, and you kind of have to choose from those options. So you can build your own home, but to a fault, to some options that are given to you. Now, let's talk about the process of dirt. So the home buyer will work with the construction company to choose from a variety of options to build their home. Really what it comes down to is a couple of things, three things really that comes to my mind. The first part of this decision-making process is kind of the plot selection. Where in the community are you going to build your home? So for instance, if you want a corner lot, then you're going to choose a plot of land that's on the corner of a street. If you're looking for a cul-de-sac, then you're going to try to find a community that has a free plot that's free, not free meaning you pay nothing, but a lot that hasn't been spoken for. You're going to pick a lot that's in a cul-de-sac that you can build your home on. So the first important part is that plot selection. And you have to remember that in a new construction community where maybe it is a seller's market, and so everybody is trying to purchase a home, there might not be a lot of plots available when you're looking to buy a home. So it's super important to be realistic when it comes to plot selection. The second thing that you're going to do in this whole process of building a home is you're going to choose a home plan. Now, if you go with a custom builder, that's a little bit different. You can pretty much do whatever is structurally sound from that standpoint. But for most, what we say, track builders that build these communities, track builders will have a selection of floor plans that you can choose from, and that's going to be your base. So you're going to go in it saying, I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. And maybe you're looking for 2,000 square feet, for instance. Then you're going to choose a floor plan that kind of resembles a 2,000 square foot 3-bedroom, 2-bath, knowing that it's not going to be exactly 2,000 square feet. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less, but a lot of these tract builders will have a selection or options of the type of floor plans that you can build. Now they're going to make sure that whatever you choose is going to fit on that plot of land, right? So if you are choosing, for instance, a layout that requires a 60-foot lot and you've picked a 45-foot lot, that home is not going to fit on that 45-foot lot. And so it's important to understand that there may be options that you can't choose because of the selection of your plot in the neighborhood. And the last big thing, which is really the fun time for I think most homeowners, is the selection of interior and exterior designs. This is when you actually get to choose the color that's in the home. You get to choose the type of cabinets, the type of flooring. You get to make those choices that will help build the home to your specification, again, within some type of options. If you're using a tract builder, if you're using a customized builder, a custom builder, then you might get all the options in the world. But for most of us, it's going with a tract builder that gives us some options that we can choose from. Now, here are some pros about dirt. So first, you get to personalize your dream home to an extent, right? You're given options, so you can't go overboard, but you get to personalize your home. So you get to have the home that you want to live in. You get to watch your home being built, which I think is an awesome part of the process because you get to see it go from dirt to foundation, to the frames, to the drywall, to the paint, and then to completion. So you get to see the evolution of your home, which from a homeowner standpoint may be an important part of the process of owning a home because you can kind of see how your home was made. That way, if any issues come up in the future, you know exactly where things were put. Like for instance, you know where the electrical lines were put. You know where the water lines were put. You know what was in that foundation. So you kind of get an understanding because you're watching the home being built. Now, the pros of a dirt often can mean that you get better lot location because you're choosing where you want to be rather than what type of house you're purchasing from the get-go. So better lot location because it's easier to have a whole bunch of dirt than it is to have a whole bunch of inventory for a lot of builders. Inspection in phases, which is a critical portion, pro here. Typically, you know, as a real estate agent, I will highly recommend to any client that's looking to build from dirt to hire an inspector to do a phase inspection. And what that means is every part of the process is going to be inspected by your inspector. And it's your inspector, not the builder's inspector. And so what that really comes down to is you can hire a inspector to do a phase inspection. And what they'll do is they might come out prior to the pour of the foundation to make sure whatever they were going to do prior to pouring the foundation was done correctly or to code. Then the builder's going to do the foundation and start putting up the walls or putting up the sticks, I would say. They're going to put the frame up and your inspector will come out and check the frame. Then they'll start putting the electrical and the water lines. Then your inspector will come back out and inspect those before they close up the wall and you don't even know what's in there. Then once they've got all the drywall up and they're kind of in that phase where they're ready to turn that house back to you, they're going to do one final inspection as if they were going to do this inspection on any pre-owned home that they're inspecting. And they may even come back and help you with something called blue taping, which we'll talk about in another video. So they're going to help phase that inspection to ensure that every step of the way your builder's following code and not shortchanging you when it comes to building your home. So that's one of the advantages with dirt because you don't get to see the walls or inside the walls when you do an inspection on a pre-owned home or even an inventory home. And last pro here, you get to understand the brains of the home. And I think about this as you get to understand the inner workings of the home, which helps you be a better homeowner in the end. So those are some of the pros of dirt. Now, some of the cons of dirt here is you're unable to lock an interest rate. So a lot of times it takes 4 to 6 or even 9 months to build a home. And typically you can't lock your interest rate that far in advance. So you're going to be floating that interest rate until you get closer to closing on the home, and then you can lock that interest rate. Now, the fear here is that if you're buying, let's say right now, and the interest rate is 2.8%, and then in the next 9 months, it starts to gradually go up and up and up, it could be 3.8% by the time you are done. And that is a financial instrument risk there when it comes to building your own home. So we have to understand that. And again, if you have significant amount of interest rate fluctuation, that could be the difference between you being able to buy this home or not buy this home. Another con here is the construction time. It does take a little bit of time, so you have to have the foresight, and you have to put into your foresight construction delays. No joke here, I was talking to some of our neighbors in the community, and one neighbor, or future neighbor, has been quoted with a 4-month delay in their home, which I'm sure they weren't even thinking that there would be a delay of 4 months, given that how fruitful construction has been in our community, but there is a 4-month delay in their home, and so they're not able to even move for 4 additional months. And think about that when it comes to timing your move appropriately. So construction time is an issue. We talk about limited discounting options, and this has more to do with inventory homes than anything else. But when you buy from dirt, you're pretty much paying full price for everything. Now, a builder may give you some concessions as far as maybe they'll give you 50% off any additions that you put into the home at the design center. But generally speaking, if the cost of that home is $355,000, you're going to pay $355,000 to build that home, and then all the extras you're going to pay as well. So that could be a significant cost to you, especially since you're not going to get any discounting or you're not getting any assistance on that home price. Now, the con is really a pro, but also a con is you get to make the decisions, but those decisions can be costly. One of the aspects of building a home might be going to something called a design center, where you're basically choosing and picking the things that are going to be inside and outside of your home. And that is a recipe for a disaster sometimes, because you're going to see certain faucets and you're going to, we want this type of faucet, even though it's going to cost $3,000 when you really could have just bought something that was like $100, right? So there's a chandelier that they show you and you're like, I got to have that chandelier in the kitchen. And so instead of spending $150 on a chandelier, you now spend $2,000 on a chandelier. So there's a lot of costs associated with design center. Now, it's all to help you design the home that you will love in the end, but those lovely points are going to cost you money. So it's important to understand that because you have to make the decision, it can be a costly venture in the end. And then lastly, you just can't physically see the home. Now, there are model homes available, but those are the model homes. They've been what I would say upgraded to make them look nice so that you will buy their home, and then when you find out that it really costs an additional $50,000 to do exactly what the model home is, you kind of have that sticker shock. But one of the cons here is that you don't actually get to see your home until it's built, which is a risk when it comes to loving your home, right? So you have to understand that the model home is not the home that you're buying. You're buying the home that you're designing, but you can't actually see what that product looks like until it's built. So that can be a con here when going with dirt. Now, let's talk about inventory here. So the process of inventory, an inventory home is a home in which the builder has put on the market. The stage of completion on the home may vary. So once they get started with the home, they'll release it to their salespeople as an inventory home, meaning that it's an inventory to them. They can sell at any point in time. Now, usually this happens after the foundation has been laid and they're about to put up the walls or the frame. So they kind of of know what that home is going to be at the end of the day, that's when they usually release it out to their salespeople to then sell it to the public. Now, they are at various stages in time, meaning that they could be at the framing stages, or they could be at the just about done, need to sweep up the stuff and mop the floors, and we're ready to go. Now, why is it so important? Inventories are so important for those people that can't wait 6 or 9 months. They can't wait for construction delays. They kind of need to move in fairly quickly. Well, because the process has already been started, they are able to basically move into that home usually in 30 or 60 days because that home is kind of along the process of being built. Now, one of the things you should know about an inventory home is that all of the trimmings and all of the interior decorations have already been chosen by their interior or their internal designers. So it has been designed to the spec of the community or the spec of the most popular things in the community. So you can be assured of that. But again, they've already been pre-chosen. You didn't really get to choose them in the design process. Now, some of the pros of inventory. These are usually near move-in ready or move-in ready homes. So if you're looking to move in the next couple months, this would be a great option for you. Dirt might not be the option for you at this point in time. You're able to lock your interest rate if you're close enough to the closing date. So you'll have less financial risk when it comes to the interest rate changing. The home price could be discounted the more days it's on the market. So obviously a builder builds these inventory homes because they expect people who are looking to move very quickly to buy these homes. If nobody's actually buying these homes, then they're going to have to start discounting these homes, meaning that they're going to discount the price. So it's going to go from, let's say, 320 to 315 to 310 to 305 to the point where they're going to get to a floor where they can't go below. Otherwise, they'll start to lose money or their profit margin. So there is some home discounting here the longer the home sits on the market, but that is a risk at the end of the day that someone else could buy that home that you were hoping to be discounted another $5,000 in 2 or 3 weeks. You can the pro of inventory homes, you can envision the home in real life because you actually get to see it because it's already built or it's being built or in the process. So you kind of can see it. You can feel the space when you walk into that home. And the pro is the decisions are made for you. You're not having this indecisiveness of like, what should I put in there? What should the exterior look like? Should we have brick? Should we have facade? What sink type do we have? What are the counters going to be like? What the floor is going to be like? There's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and you don't have to make any of those when you use an inventory home. Now, there are some cons to inventory home. The first one is that the home is not 100% personalized because you didn't get to choose all the design elements. But again, is this really a con? Because if you buy a pre-owned home, you're buying basically the home as is. So again, different way of looking at this, whether or not this is a pro or con. You're unable to inspect the homes at different phases. So obviously a pro to the dirt builds is you get to choose the way the home or you get to phase inspect the home at different points in time to ensure that everything was done correctly. Can't do that on an inventory home, especially if it's already progressed to the point where you've got your drywall up. The lot and layout is chosen for you, so you might not have the most desirable lot or location in the community, or maybe you are. Just depends. And then competition. So there are competitions for that home because it's on the market. People can see it. And so it's not just you that's building this home that you have exclusive rights to. Anybody who can come and basically sign the documents can purchase that home underneath you, even though you just needed a couple more days to get the financing straight or to hope that the price goes down. Now, at the end of the day, which one's better, dirt or inventory? Well, these are some of the questions that you probably should ask yourselves when it comes to dirt versus inventory. What is your time frame? You know, if you have a long time frame, then dirt might be your answer. If you have a short time frame, inventory might be a better answer. What's your budget? Do you have a tight budget which you don't want to stray from? If that's the case, you might want to go with inventory. If you're okay with straying a little bit from that amount, maybe dirt might be an option. Thoughts about the location within the community. Where in the community do you want to be? The community might have an area where there's a lot of traffic. Well, do you want to be on that street? Because if you're going to be on that street, the only thing that's available on that street is inventory homes. or maybe only dirt homes, or vice versa. So it's important to understand, what are your options when it comes to dirt and inventory and the location and lot of that home in that community. Do you want to be decisive, or do you want to be indecisive? Do you want to have choices, or do you not want to have choices and you just want to buy a home? That's where you choose between dirt or inventory. And lastly, what is your long-term goals with the home? Is this a forever home, so you're willing to spend a little bit more to get the home that you're looking for? Or is this maybe a starter home, or maybe this is a home that you're going to live for about 7 or 8 years and then move on? So it's not that important that you have certain elements in the home done by the builder. There could be also cases where you might go, okay, we're only going to be in, this is a forever home, but we can change some of the things in the home ourselves, save ourselves money. And by doing that, we can stick with a inventory home rather than a dirt home. So these are some of the questions you should ask yourself versus when you're thinking about dirt versus inventory. So at the end of the day, when you're looking at a new construction community, you've got to ask yourself, are we willing to go through the process of building our home, or do we want to forgo that and buy an inventory home if there's an inventory home available? And again, if you're in a hot market, oftentimes there are not a lot of inventory homes to go around. So I hope you enjoyed this video on dirt versus inventory, especially if you're looking to purchase in a new community. Hopefully this information was useful to you as you're looking to purchase a home in a new community. What are your thoughts? Would you choose dirt or inventory? Put that in the comment section below, dirt or inventory, and why? Why do you want to go with one versus the other? Put that in the comment section below. If you know someone who is building a home right now or wanting to build their own home and they need to see this for themselves, make sure you share this video with them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you're so that you know what's coming up in the future when it comes to home buying process or the home ownership process. What am I talking about? Home ownership process. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. If you're looking for a home in San Antonio, I'd love to talk to you about purchasing a home in San Antonio. Reach out to me in the comment section below, or go to my website at www.thesatxhome.com. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.